We had a dream to travel and see the world as locals and not as tourists. After a lot of hard work, we decided in 2021 to downsize and sell almost everything we owned. We then put our house on the market. We bought a fifth wheel, which we named Serenity, and then we hit the road to see the U.S. We are working to build the Bald Traveler into a travel resource for geeks and nerds who want to travel and see where their fandoms are based. We encourage you to subscribe and comment to follow along on our journey. Let's get ready to travel baldly together.
Hi, we're going to be looking at the Montana pivot door that is part of the bathroom that we have on our 2017 Montana 3661RL. We're not the only ones that have a pivot door, but we're just going to look at kind of some problems that we've had, and then hopefully we're going to go through how we're going to approach fixing them. So let's take a look and see, number one, what it looks like right now. So if you ignore up here, honestly, this fell out because the whole door came down. But even if you ignore this part and just look at how it functions in general. Number one, it's a little loud, and then it's grinding a bit as well. The idea in general, I think, is a good one, but I think it was implemented not optimally. The last time we stopped after our last move, what happened is I came in here and the whole door had actually come out. As you can see here, this is already a bit loose. And this actually had come out of the track, and the door had fallen and broken off the trim up here. I say broken, and it's not broken. Let me show you what it looks like. So the trim is just held on with these very small brads. So we'll be able to put these back up when we're done. But this had come down, so if you ever need to get in to actually work on the mechanics a bit, you can take this piece down, although it's not required. Let's look also. Part of the problem that we're seeing is this trolley here, we're not screwed in as well as we should be. The first thing we tried to do was we did try to tighten it up a bit. So you can see there's a nut here and then the bolt, and it actually screws up into the trolley. Once we tightened this down, that was the easy part, but this honestly did not tighten anymore. And we've since discovered that this is actually stripped up inside. But if you ever need to take this out, if we can get from a higher up view and look down, this nut here, if you loosen it enough while holding the one underneath, you can actually slide out and the whole trolley will come out without having to take down your whole door. It's fighting me a bit right now. Okay, so I've actually loosened this nut quite a bit. And as you can see, there's a gap here. So while that's not tightened down, this whole mechanism comes out. And now I can actually get to the trolley and the nut, again, when it's not fighting me a bit. And the door is now loose. So this has all come out. And now we can actually work on it. So let's look at it a bit. The way it's in by default. Okay, so let's look at how it used to be. So by default, as it comes to us, there's this plastic threading, probably a nylon, that used to be in this truck here. And that has now worn its way out. And that really was the only thing that was holding this together. A lot of people, we looked at a lot of the websites for the Montana Owners Group and several Facebook groups, and a lot of them have come up with the same issues. And we're going to try an approach to try to fix this. As you can see, I do have a lot of mess on my hands. This is like a graphite grease. There's nothing wrong with this. the truck actually, the trolley still spins quite freely. So this itself is not a problem, but we're going to rework how this is made. So instead of screwing up and expecting that threading to work and keep the pressure, we're actually going to get a longer version of one of these, and we're going to actually thread it from the upper side down. And this is going to become more clear as we work on this. These are the parts that we're ending up with our fix. We've got the original trolley or truck. We did take the bushing out, the nylon plastic bushing that had the threading. We're not going to use that anymore. We are going to flip the trolley upside down, so this is now up. Before this was down. Again, that's where the threaded bushing it was. We're using a 1/4 by 20 inch and 3/4 long Phillips head machine screw. We do have an additional nut that we're going to use to tighten down to keep it from slipping off. And then we have a lock nut as well. This goes on the very bottom. So when we put it in, it's going to be, this one comes down, then we will thread on this nut, and then the lock nut on the very bottom. The plate that you slip it in on the existing door is going to go between these two. So at this point you can see the two nuts, the lock nut on the bottom, the other nut is not tightened down yet. The way you get this in is you put the trolley in the track, and then on the front you slide the bottom nut through into the hole. And now once you tighten down the top nut and tighten it down, it'll be secure. Now we try the door, and it swings much more freely. No squeaking, and since we're not quite level front to back, it will actually close itself, so way better. Our track is a little short, but we haven't noticed that there's any problem with that. So that would be the end of our fix for now. We'll see how long this lasts. We are going to put the trim back up here so that this part is covered, but that would be it.